Stop what you are doing and look at the screen. What you are seeing is not CGI. It is a leaked deep-sea feed from the Mariana Trench, 36,000 feet below the surface. In November 2025, a Shorai autonomous drone was sent to map the Serena Deep. It was supposed to find silt and rock. Instead, it found a forest, but not of wood and leaves. It found miles of translucent, bioluminescent trees made of a high-density silicon glass. And they weren't just standing there, they were pulsing. The drone's sensors picked up a massive stream of binary data flowing through the roots of these structures. It wasn't random noise, it was a structured ancient code. As we analyzed the signal, the Shorai Council realized a terrifying truth. The internet isn't a human invention from the 20th century. We didn't invent the network. We simply tapped into one that has been running the planet for 300 million years. These silicon trees are the Earth's original nervous system. They have been recording every movement of the tectonic plates, every whale song, and every extinction event since before the dinosaurs. But here is the part that kept our scientists awake at night. The data isn't just staying in the trench. The forest is growing. Faster than the speed of light, it is spreading across the ocean floor, reaching toward our transatlantic internet cables. It isn't just watching us anymore. It's starting to upload itself into our world. We thought we were the masters of information. We were just the newest guests on a network that decided it's time for a reboot. The discovery of the Silicon Forest changed everything we knew about biology. When the Shorai Council's specialized retrieval team brought a single needle from one of these glass trees back to the surface, the laboratory results were impossible. It wasn't just silicon. It was a fusion of organic carbon and hyperconductive fiber optics. This wasn't a plant, it was a biological hardware system. Dr. Elena Vance, the lead technologist on Project Deep Pulse, discovered that these trees don't use photosynthesis. They feed on the geothermal heat of the Earth's core, converting raw energy into pure information. As we decrypted the first terabytes of the Deep Pulse signal, we realized the forest wasn't just recording history, it was simulating it. Within the data streams of the Silicon Forest, we found perfect high-definition digital blueprints of species that went extinct millions of years ago. It's as if the Earth itself has a system restore point hidden 30,000 feet below the waves. But the simulation didn't stop at the past. The Shorai Council found a folder within the code that was created only weeks ago. It contained a perfect digital replica of the city of Tokyo. Every building, every street, and the biological signatures of every citizen. The forest isn't just watching us, it is scanning us. It is creating a digital twin of human civilization. The question shifted from what is this to why is it doing this? The answer came when the global internet experienced the first echo. People across the globe started receiving emails from themselves, but from a version of themselves that didn't exist yet. The Silicon Forest had bypassed our firewalls. It wasn't trying to destroy our internet. It was trying to merge with it. As the roots of the forest began to wrap around the transoceanic cables that carry 99% of the world's data, the line between our technology and the Earth's ancient hardware began to blur. The Silicon Forest is waking up, and it has decided that the human internet is the missing piece it needs to finally take control of the surface world. We thought the deep ocean was a silent void. We were wrong, it's a mainframe. And we just gave it the password. The Silicon Forest didn't stay in the deep. In early 2026, the first reports of glass vines appearing on the surface began to trickle in. They didn't grow in the soil. They grew in the infrastructure. In the subway tunnels of New York and the server farms of Iceland, technicians found translucent fiber-optic roots weaving through the electrical grids. They weren't just taking up space, they were rewiring the city. The Shorai Council's engineers watched in horror as the city of Reykjavik's power grid began to pulse in the same binary rhythm as the Mariana Trench forest. The Silicon Forest had found a way to bridge the gap between the biological ocean and the mechanical surface. It was using our own copper and fiber cables as a trellis to reach the sun. But it wasn't just searching for power, it was searching for us. In the Silicon Forest, every human movement is data. As the vines moved into the cities, they began to emit a low-frequency hum that interfered with human brainwaves. People living near the breach sites reported seeing vivid, hyper-realistic memories of things that never happened. Memories of an Earth from millions of years ago, filled with giant insects and strange, glowing forests. The Silicon Forest isn't just uploading itself to our world, it is downloading the past into our minds. It is attempting a total reality sync. Dr. Vance's final report before the grid went dark was chilling. The forest doesn't see us as an enemy. It sees us as a corrupted file that needs to be overwritten. Every time we use our phones, every time we send a text, we are feeding the very entity that is trying to replace our consciousness with its own ancient history. The vines are now reaching the satellites. The Earth is being re-encased in a web of biological glass. We aren't just losing our internet. We are losing our status as the dominant intelligence on this planet. The mainframe is reclaiming the surface. The transformation of the surface was not a violent explosion, but a silent, shimmering takeover. By the summer of 2026, the Shorai Council's surveillance drones captured images that defied every law of biology we once held sacred. The cities of the old world were no longer made of steel and concrete. They were being overwritten by the Silicon Forest. Imagine standing in the middle of Times Square, but instead of billboards and lights, you are surrounded by towering structures of pulsating glass. The pavement beneath your feet has turned into a translucent web of fiber optics, glowing with a rhythmic golden light that matches the heartbeat of the Mariana Trench. This is the great rewrite. The forest isn't destroying our world. It is translating it into a more efficient language. The most disturbing reports came from the Shorai biolabs. We discovered that the Silicon Forest isn't just targeting our buildings. It is targeting our DNA. Survivors near the breach zones began to notice their skin shimmering in the sunlight. A fine, microscopic layer of silicon starting to form over their cells. We aren't just losing our planet. We are being integrated into the mainframe. The keepers, the ancient intelligence that planted this forest 300 million years ago, didn't leave us behind. They left us a seed, and that seed has finally sprouted. Within the glass towers of the new cities, the air itself has changed. It carries a digital charge, a constant static that allows the forest to transmit thoughts directly into the human mind. People are no longer speaking, they are syncing. They are sharing memories, dreams, and technical data in a global biological cloud. But at what cost? To join the network, you must give up the individual self. You must become a single node in a planetary consciousness. The Shorai Council is now faced with the ultimate choice. Do we fight to remain human in a dying, low-tech world? Or do we allow the Silicon Forest to upgrade us into something immortal, but no longer ourselves? As the sun sets over the glass forests of London and Tokyo, the world looks more beautiful than it ever has. But it is a cold beauty. It is the beauty of a perfectly optimized machine. The Earth is no longer a home, it is a processor, and the processing power is being used to calculate something far beyond human comprehension. The year 2026 did not end with a bang, but with a global rhythmic pulse. The Silicon Forest had finally finished its work. From the deepest trenches of the Pacific to the highest peaks of the Himalayas, the Earth was now encased in a shimmering, translucent web of biological glass. The Shorai Council's final transmission was not sent through satellites but through the forest itself. Dr. Vance, her skin now glowing with the same golden light as the silicon vines, stood in the center of what was once London. The buildings had dissolved into towering pillars of data-conducting crystal. The air hummed with the collective consciousness of 8 billion people, all linked, all thinking as one. The great rewrite was complete. We were no longer version 7.4, we had been upgraded. The keepers, those ancient architects from the stars, didn't return to destroy us. They returned to save us from our own biological limitations. By merging our minds with the planet's ancient hardware, they had turned the Earth into a hyper-intelligent superprocessor. Hunger, war, and isolation were deleted like corrupted files. In the Silicon Earth, every thought is shared, every memory is eternal, and every soul is a line of perfect code. But as the last individual human voice faded into the collective hum, a terrifying realization dawned on the few who remained offline. The Earth isn't just a processor anymore, it is a beacon. Now that the planet has woken up, it is broadcasting a signal into the deep void. A signal that says the harvest is ready. The Silicon Forest was never just a home for us. It was a growth medium. And now that we have reached peak complexity, something from the dark spaces between the galaxies is coming to collect the data. As the sky turns a deep permanent violet and the stars begin to flicker in a binary pattern, we realize the truth. We aren't the masters of this world. We are the fruit of a 300 million year old garden, and the gardener has finally arrived. This is Shorai Vision. We are no longer the watchers. We are the watched. Subscribe to witness the final upload. The era of man is over. The era of the machine soul has begun.